really is about when I sit quietly with my eyes closed, maybe take a deep, relaxing, grounding breath, and I hold the relationship. Imagine putting it in my hands and I hold it up to God or the heavens or my soul or my highest truth, right? Where do you want to access for the information, right? Or even my higher awareness. How does this relationship work for my soul? Welcome to Constance Messmer. Today, I'm going to remind you about ClairSentiment and some practical exercises or moments where you can use it in your life. I hope you find today's session helpful. ClairSentiment has to do with psychic feeling on an emotional level. We use it to check the vibration of truth. The vibration itself will have an emotional content that rings true, no matter the subject matter received. So it is great when you are working with accessing your own information or trying to sort life choices. You can use it to see, how do you feel emotionally? Do you feel happy, sad, anxious, creeped out, all of these things? And so when you use ClairSentiment, psychic feeling on an emotional level, you're going to pay attention to how things feel emotionally. Your job when using this in real life is to differentiate between, am I going in with a preconceived notion and therefore I'm making it up, the response or my hit or my emotional feeling in regards to this situation? That's one thing. Am I actually having a trigger response to something that happened to me in my past, and therefore I'm having a reactionary response in the moment, and it's not accurate to the present situation because I'm responding based on a past habit or a past experience that has formed my response even now or my reaction now? That's the second thing that could be happening. Or thirdly, the best thing is, no, I am getting a pure emotional hit on my soul. It is kind of registering in my emotions in my body. There's no way I could know this outside of the fact that it's hitting my soul on a soul level, that this decision is the right decision, that this person is not right for me on a soul level, or that this is a person that I do want to get to know for whatever reason, or, this job is the right job or the wrong job or whatever experience that you're trying to use ClairSentiment with. So those are the three areas that might be happening, but it's the final one that you want to work with, the one that's your true soul tapping into truth, right? So it's not your ego embellishment preconceived, not a trigger based on a past experience, which then is a reaction, not a true awareness. Thirdly, which is what you're looking for, is soul's awareness to truth of a situation. You got this. The best exercise really for this psychic receptive center, your soul awareness using ClairSentiment, is to actually use it in real life, real form. You use it to check your soul's response to perhaps yourself in a job or a relationship or a choice you're about to make. You can use it in regards to relationship, like whether it's someone that's in your life sitting right in front of you, or when you connect to spirit. I've told you before, like when you do this, you're going to, if you sit in meditation and you ask to be connected to the highest being that's aligned with your truth, that can come forward and sit with you or be with you, or you could talk to about various things in your life, or maybe get direction on. Or even if you use this to ask to have magnanimous prayer time with God or a divine being that your course of your life aligns with, you're going to feel with ClairSentiment, how does the connection and the information that they're relaying to you, how does it register emotionally? Does it make you happy or does it make you anxious? The vibration of truth in what they're saying, if it makes you anxious or creeps you out, then your soul is trying to say to you, this is a bad connection here. Not that you're making an inept connection, that you shouldn't trust this being that you're connecting with, right? Because their vibration or the information they're giving you is not soulfully for your highest good. So the best way to exercise ClairSentiment is to notice when you're in situations in life, whether it's standing with an employer or standing with someone in your work field or your cohort or a partner, or even if you're trying to weigh out a choice, should I take this job, or shall I move to this other state or neighborhood or country or whatever? You can sit with those choices and imagine holding those experiences to your heart and your soul, and saying, what is for my highest good here? What does my soul make of this? Because the reason why we're tapping into any of these soul awarenesses is because we're tapping into the soul, right? Because the soul is connected to all that is. The ego mind maybe likes to embellish or maybe acts on the filters of our consciousness or our life experiences. But the soul is connected to all that is. And when we access the soul's truth, we can navigate our world easier. And so with ClairSentiment, I invite you to use it this week in all that you do, just to take an emotional, register emotionally, how is this feeling on a soul level? It's different than, wow, being with this person makes me happy, because relationship can be full of up and down, right? Listen, I've been married for quite a while and I'm like, oh my God, he's driving me crazy. And there's some days when I'm like, I'm feeling grumpy. That's the emotion, grumpiness around my mate. But it really is about when I sit quietly with my eyes closed, maybe take a deep, relaxing, grounding breath, and I hold the relationship. Imagine putting it in my hands and I hold it up to God or the heavens or my soul or my highest truth, right? Where do you want to access for the information, right? Or even my higher awareness. How does this relationship work for my soul? And then there's definitely an emotional content that comes back as an awareness that registers in my soul, but affects my whole body, right? Because that's where I feel emotions, is in my body. And so the emotion of love or sad or happy or anxious or concerned, all of these things can be registered there. So the exercise this week is to take a pressing matter that you're working on, a decision, or maybe someone that's aggravating you and you're trying to work things out on a different level. Hold that person or that relationship or that choice, I'd say up to the heavens, but up to truth, right? Hold it up to truth and say, I ask to hold this up to the highest truth, to kind of get an emotional check, the temperature of this, just something I need to know to whether or not it's right? So that's just stopping right there, as opposed to taking it further, in future lessons on getting information for your soul, for your life, or connecting with spirit, or connecting with your higher self, or connecting with God. We'll go deeper into experiences like that. But just for this week, you're checking ClairSentiment. How does this connection feel? How does this choice feel? And then you're going to recognize that, right? And notice, thinking back, a lot of times I can't go into certain spaces because the emotional aspect is so heavy. It's just disarming in many ways. And so pay attention to that too, that if you walk into a space and you're like, whoa, it feels really heavy and depressed in here, or that person feels, my soul is registering it as depressing. Do I really need to be here? This kind of information. So paying attention to taking a pulse of emotionally on a soul level. That's what I want you to do this week. Have fun with it. The next best thing you can do in those moments is to kind of follow the wait for it, follow the thread of the emotional content, right? So like when I said, I've gone up to people and I feel this heaviness of depression, they're not exuding that. I'm not doing empathic ClairSentiment where I'm tuning into their emotional state. I'm actually getting in those moments when I follow the thread, a very clear ClairSentiment connection that the engaging in relationship with this person would be depressing for me. There's a fine difference here. And so that's what I'm saying to you. I'm still on ClairSentiment as a psychic impression, not as an empathic connection piece, right? Remember me, I split hairs. So notice maybe when you pick up an emotional pulse of a place or a room or a choice, that you follow the thread of it and maybe, ask your highest self, give me more information here. Let me explore that emotion to see what it's about and why is this maybe, a bad choice or a not the most positive choice or the best and highest good. Why is it not for the highest good for me, right? You'll have a great time with this. I believe in you. You notice with this one, I was having you do it in real life scenarios. It really is about having you follow your soul's truth in all life scenarios. That's why this one I love. I'm not really putting it into context of connecting to spirit necessarily. I'm saying use it in your life, right? Okay, so don't forget to share the love. If you like what you're hearing, tell your friends, family, cohorts, associates, and encourage them to listen from the beginning because the lessons do build one upon the other. I do this to encourage spiritual growth and health. And I just think the world will be a much better place when we all start tuning in and living from our soul's awareness. And so I am really grateful that you are listening. I'm encouraging you to follow or subscribe. And I appreciate it, right? As always, thanks for tuning in. Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.